Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Swollen Busy podcast. Today we're going to be talking about bulking, and pretty much this can be the ultimate guide to bulking. It's going to pretty much cover probably the basics of everything you need to know about bulking. So we're just we're not going to waste any time, we're just jump right into it. So what is bulking? Okay, so basically, before we go any further, bulking is simply gaining weight intentionally, usually to gain muscle. It's not like other forms of weight gain, because other forms of weight gain are just caused from overeating or simply just just life circumstances and really just being lazy with the food that you're consuming. So when it comes to bulking, simply what bulking is it's when you're inside of a calorie surplus. Basically, anytime you're gaining weight, it's because your body's in a surplus. So what a surplus simply means is, it means that everyone has maintenance. So that means we all have like our maintenance calories. So for us to not gain weight and for us to not lose weight, that is our maintenance. So for example, for me, I believe my maintenance is 3,000 calories. So what that means is if I go above 3,000 calories, that means if I consume more than 3,000, for it could be like 3,001. If I do that over time, forever, over time, I'm going to gain weight. Same thing when it comes to deficits. A deficit is just when you go below your calorie maintenance. Now, the reason why this is important is because this contributes to us putting on muscle. So which brings me to the good part. So how do we determine how many calories we need to consume to be in a calorie surplus? Well, there's this thing called a TDEE calculator, Total Daily Energy Expenditure Calculator. I talked about this in the last podcast, and then listen to it after this. Basically what this is we go in this calculator, and then from there we type in our age, how much we exercise, and then from there it will give us our maintenance. Now from there, what you do is you want to add an additional 300 calories because we're trying to go in a bulk. So for example, for me, I weigh 3,000 calories, you just add an additional 300. So what this is going to do is also, you can play around with how much weight you want to gain, but I would suggest, I would say roughly like a pound a month or 2 pounds a month. I feel like that's perfect, because the problem is if you gain weight too fast, what's going to happen is you're gonna get a lot of fat. The whole point of a bulk is to produce muscle and at the same time keeping our body fat down. But it's inevitable, guys. If you guys are trying to gain weight, and you guys are trying to gain more muscle, you're inevitably going to produce more fat. It's just simply how your body operates. Once you figure out how many calories you need to be eating to be in a bulk, from there we need to figure out how to track your calories. So MyFitnessPal is free. It's one of the most popular fitness apps, and it is for a reason. It's amazing. Basically, you just go in there. MyFitnessPal pretty much has they have pretty much all the big restaurants on there. So anytime you eat out, or they also have the generics. So things you buy from the grocery store. It pretty much gives you the basics of everything. And the nice thing is, for example, if you got a jar of peanut butter like I got right here, all you would do is you just take your MyFitnessPal and you scan it, and it'll tell you put in exactly how much you had, and it'll tell you exactly grams of protein, carbohydrates, a whole bunch of other stuff, calories. So basically, the reason why you want to get MyFitnessPal is so you can track it and you make sure that you're in a surplus. Now from there, when it comes to bulking, when it comes to food is your fuel, guys. You guys, it doesn't matter how much training you're doing. If you're not eating right, you're not gonna gain weight. I almost forgot. So there's two kinds of bulks. There's dirty bulks and then there's clean bulks. A dirty bulk simply means that you're eating things like donuts, pizza, just crap, fast food to try to get to your caloric surplus. The problem with that is, since you're eating really bad food, basically, so how it works is real quick. So for example, if you guys go over your surplus, what's going to happen is you're going to start to gain fat really quickly, which is bad. And not to mention, it's going to be this food is super high in sodium. So overall, it's just not good for you. Versus if you do a clean bulk, number one, you're going to feel healthier. And since you're consuming more protein, your body's actually going to be putting on more muscle. Because even though, for example, you could be hitting your amount of calories, if you're not hitting the amount of protein you need, and for your muscles to actually, have enough fuel to recover, you're actually never going to grow. You're just going to become obese. So guys, when it comes to actually nutrition, so when you're doing a clean bulk, you're going to want to have foods like, you're going to have complex carbohydrates, lean proteins, healthy fats, fruits and vegetables, and you want to have a ton of water. And then when it comes to the actual food itself, just some lean proteins are things like chicken breast, turkey, fish, beef, eggs, tofu, low-fat dairy products. For the complex carbohydrates, things that are whole grain. You want to stay away from things that are white. You want to stay away from white rice or white bread. You want to really have whole grains. They're way higher in nutrition. Things like sweet potatoes, brown rice, vegetables, stuff like that. Great complex carbohydrates. When it comes to our healthy fats, things like avocado, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish. Or if you guys don't have time for fish like myself, or you guys just don't have the money, just take fish oil. It's a great supplement. We're going to talk a little about that more later. Also, it's also a great supplement for recovery, but I can make an entire episode about fish oil. That's how great it is. And then, yeah, when it comes to fruits and vegetables, you guys know what that is. And yeah, water. Basically, guys, if you guys aren't drinking enough water, your muscles literally aren't going to grow. And this is a little tip. This is just a little tip for actually gaining muscle. And this is how I actually use my bulk so I can consistently see growth in my body. Because, you know, we all know as natural lifters, it's very difficult to get results quickly because it's not like we can just, take a shot and we become stronger. Basically, guys, this is what I recommend. You need to become a maniac when it comes to tracking. This is what you do. You start tracking your calories. Then from there, you start every single day. You're reaching your surplus. So from there, you're constantly gaining weight while you're bulking. Track your workouts and track the weight that you're lifting, because strength is a great measurement to know if your bulk is working or not. Because while you're bulking, the whole point is to put on more muscle. So for example, if you're doing like a set of incline bench press, you're doing 20 reps, right? The first week you do 25-pound dumbbells for 20 reps. And the next week you do 30. And then the next week you do 35. If you put on muscle that fast, it's pretty crazy. But then let's say eventually you get to week 4 and you can't get past 35. What you do is you increase your calorie intake. So you eat more calories. And since you have more calories, you're going to gain more muscle. So then from there, a week might go by, 2 weeks might go by, and then you'll get up to 40 pounds on the bench press. So weight is a great measurement to know if you're getting stronger or not. And then from there, the slower you can bulk, the better. Because basically what you're doing is you're giving your body more time to acclimate to the changes. Because if you just rush it, like I said earlier, and you end up going crazy, I don't know, 700 calories additionally per day, number one, you're gonna feel like death. And number two, you're gonna be putting on body fat so fast that you're not gonna be able to build enough muscle to catch up with it. So many people all the time, they rush the bulk, and the problem is they end up getting stronger, yes, but by the end of it, they end up a little being obese, and they're like, oh my God, this is terrible. And then they have to do the opposite to get back down to where they were. And this is just a little thing to make training more effective, and that is pre-meals and post-meals. Anytime you train before a workout, you want to get in some kind of energy source. A great thing to always eat before a workout is something like an avocado or something like nuts. Just avocados are great because avocados are really a superfood. It's like pre-workout, but way better because pre-workout is terrible for you. I mean, it's caffeine, guys. It's not really good for your heart. And then basically there's something called the anabolic window. So basically what this is anytime you're done training, immediately after your workout, you want to try to consume some kind of protein as soon as possible. People go crazy on it. If you miss your anabolic window, it's not going to kill you. But ideally, you want to have some kind of protein immediately after workout. Rather if it's a protein shake, a bar, some chicken, like a meal. You want to get protein as soon as possible. The best supplements for building muscle are just things like protein, high quality protein powder. If you guys look on the back of your protein jug, it will actually say how much protein is actually inside of your if you look on the back of your protein powder, it will actually say how much protein is in there. Because for example, on the front of the bottle, it might say 30 grams of protein per serving, and then you go on the back and it actually says something like 25. I don't have bad protein, but I can't remember exactly what it says. But basically, the other stuff is they're just fillers. So it's essentially not really doing anything for your body. You're just flushing it out. But creatine is a huge one. Creatine is amazing, guys. It will help you put on muscle mass so much quicker. When it comes to creatine, I would suggest taking, personally, that's what I do. I take 5 grams of protein. 5 grams of creatine per day. It's gonna help you put on muscle. It helps me put on muscle way quicker because my muscles can recover quicker. The reason why creatine is beneficial is because creatine increases the availability of ATP in the muscles, and it's a primary source of energy. And it's especially helpful when it comes to high intensity training. So basically what creatine does is it can lead to improved strength, power, and performance. Creatine is a buffer to lactic acid. It's a buffer to lactic acid buildup. So basically what this does is it delays fatigue and improves endurance. And over time, the use of creatine can lead to improved muscle. And the main reason why creatine is so helpful is because it increases your recovery. Basically what creatine does is it reduces inflammation and it oxidizes the stress in the muscles after exercise. So simply, creatine just helps you recover faster. All right, now we're gonna bring it all together. So when it comes to bulking, these are the main things you need to know. You need to use a TDEE calculator. You go in there, put in your age, weight, height, and put in your activity level, and you need to find out what your maintenance is. From there, you want to add an additional 300 to 500 calories to your maintenance weight. From there, you'll be gaining weight. Keep track of your workouts, and then from there, keep track of the weight. Use your weight as a metric to see if you're improving or not. If you're becoming stronger, the bulk is working. If you start to plateau, increase your calorie intake, and make sure, or just simply try to increase your protein intake and see if that helps. When it comes to supplements, protein powder, and creatine are going to be your best friends. So all they're going to simply do is they're going to allow you to produce more muscle quicker because you're going to be recovering faster. And I almost forgot, sleep. Sleep is probably the most important thing, guys. Everyone always talks about putting on muscle, but I feel like very rarely people talk about the most important thing there is, and that is recovery. So when it comes to recovery, there's so many different things you can do. You can do active recovery, which is just simply like getting the blood flow to the area. And there's like things like mobility, foam rolling, yoga, stuff like that. It's really great. And basically the best way to recover faster is simply to be in a relaxed state. I know it's easier said than done, but when you're relaxed, your muscles can recover. I'm not sure exactly the science behind it, but when you're in fight or flight mode and you're stressed out, that's when, your muscles like break down. But when you're relaxed, it's when your muscles can recover. For example, whenever we're training, we're putting our body into a state of stress, which we're stressing the muscles out, which is why we're breaking down the muscle fibers. And when we're relaxed is when our fibers can, come back stronger. So you guys need to make sure you guys are getting sleep. And it's very important that when you wake up, you should feel well rested. We'll talk about that in the future on things you can do to improve your sleep. And lastly, hydration. Hydration is key. Ideally, I know it's a little crazy. Personally, I think the hardest thing ever about training is drinking enough water. It is so damn difficult, especially for me. They say anywhere from I believe it's like you should be drinking like 2 gallons a day. They say something like what? It's like 6 to 8 cups of water per day. Personally, if I drink 6 cups of water a day, I'm gonna be dying. I'm gonna be dying of thirst. Even a day. Water bottles, they're not the healthiest, but I think the day alone I drank 9 water bottles. And I'm still thirsty. Before I let you guys go, I just want to say, go down in the description below and get your free 30-day program. It's a program that specializes in hypertrophy. Hypertrophy, I truly believe, is the fastest way to put on muscle in the shortest period of time. I didn't ever start to see results until I started training with hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is just simply meaning we're going to train in the higher rep ranges. If you guys are enjoying the show, I'm still new to this podcasting, so please give the show a review. It really helps us grow faster, and the further we can grow, the more sustainable this becomes, because right now it's really difficult to produce content on a regular basis because there's just there's really no feedback. So it's hard to get ideas because I don't know what to talk about, because I don't know what people need to know more about. But I would really appreciate you guys giving me a review. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the show, check out the last episode. We talked about, how to put on mass as a skinny guy. It's for skinny guys, but in particular, but it will work for anybody. Again, thank you guys so much for listening to the show, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.